You know Democrats are desperate when they start talking about a possible pandemic again. I mean, that's probably the main thing that won them the election back in 2020, right? This is President Trump celebrated his first 100 days back in office and his many victories, from the border crisis and his Department of Government efficiency to culture issues like men out of women's sports, American flags, USA chants, Making America Great Again posters, and a giant Golden Age of America banner surrounded by Trump as he stood behind a lectern in Michigan, a blue wall state that he won just months before. While he was doing that, health experts from the Global Virus Network thought that this would be the best time to talk about H5N1 bird flu virus spreading rapidly across U.S. dairy farms. Since March 2024, they're saying that the outbreak has affected over 1,000 dairy herds nationwide, leading to more than 70 human infections and at least one confirmed death. Also, that the virus's continued perseverance in mammals increases the risk of mutations that could enable human-to-human transmission. I mean, really, don't they have anything better in their playbook? Then, of course, there's Kamala Harris. Good old Kamala. She thought it would be a good idea to give a speech as her former 2024 foe marks his 100th day in the White House. And yes, she was serving her classic word salad throughout the entire thing, talking about an elephant video that went viral and then Trump creating the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history. Meanwhile, also accusing him of this wholesale abandonment of American ideals and flirting with a constitutional crisis. Is this anything new from the failed presidential candidate? No. But did they overcharge donors again at the event? You can bet your bottom dollar she did. Ticket packages for the Emerge America fundraiser, a group that trains Democratic women to run for office, ranged anywhere from $50,000 for top-level sponsorship to $250 for a general admission seat. There was even a live stream only digital ticket that just charged people $25. But still, just $25? Anyway, I mean, they do know it's all on YouTube already, right? Seriously, these people couldn't be more out of touch if they tried. And they're definitely trying. Did you guys hear about Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer actually saying that the public sentiment is moving in the Democrats' direction? Public polling begs to disagree, though. A CNN poll found that 61% of Democratic and Democratic-leaning voters disapprove of their party's leadership. The National Republican Congressional Committee also just released a poll that maintains that Republicans are in a strong position to defend and grow the House majority in the 2026 midterms. Here's a little known fact. The average person chooses a suboptimal Medicare plan and overpays by hundreds every year. Chapter is solving that problem with a smarter approach. They compare every plan in your area, no bias, no sales gimmicks, just clear answers tailored to you. People like Julie in Kansas, they're saving $400 annually. Jamie in Texas, $600 added back to her Social Security check. Folks, their mission started with their own parents and now they're helping thousands. So give them a call, 909-563-8279, or you can hit them up online at askchapter.org/Ron Medicare Optimized. You should see that number on your screen right now, or you could click the link in the description down below. Now, seriously, when will these Democrats ever learn? There's just no stopping Trump. In fact, the president said recently that he's having more fun this go around. And with such an explosive first 100 days in the Oval Office, I'm really not that surprised. Here, check this out.
President Trump kicking off 100 days in office this week with a media blitz, and it sounds like he's feeling very good in this new interview. Take a listen here.
One of the things that a couple of your advisors have told us is that you're having a lot of fun this time.
I am.
That there's
I'm having a lot of fun considering what I do. You know, what I do is such serious stuff.
Serious stuff indeed. The president marking his 100-day milestone with a huge focus on immigration, with stunning raids in two separate states, one at a migrant nightclub, resulting in the arrest of hundreds of illegal immigrants. And the White House, well, they were up early today, lining the lawn with posters displaying alleged illegal immigrants' mugshots and crimes they committed. They also held a rare early morning briefing with the border czar, Tom Homan.
This is unprecedented success. The border secure. President Trump saving lives. President Trump has proven no one does it better than President Trump. There is no equal, it's not even close. This is a border emergency until we end it, end all of it. You can argue against us all you want and protest all you want, but when you cross that line, and I've said this 1,000 times, when you cross that line to impediment or knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien device, you will be prosecuted, judge or not.
And so much for nobody is above the law. The media sure seems to have forgotten its favorite slogan from the days of Trump's legal problems after the arrest of a Milwaukee judge accused of helping an illegal immigrant in her courtroom escape ICE agents.
This is all a clown show.
Wants to be king. A king doesn't have a constitution. A king just does whatever he wants. This is a constitutional crisis.
It strikes me as maybe something illegal, but it also strikes me as something heroic. People are sometimes called to do civil disobedience.
Arresting a judge today. Are you kidding me? That is a sign of weakness, not strength.
Judge, I thought the whispering was over. That was Biden, and Rachel Maddow got in on that. 100 days is a time for a little reflection in the White House, saying here are the wins that we have so far.
There's so much to talk about here, and I'll be as quick as possible. Look, 100 days have been a remarkable success, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I think the most important thing is immigration and what's happening, and the American people agree. 55% are agreeing that what the president is doing on immigration is incredible, and the transparency of this administration and the actual, Trump speed with which they're working is unbelievable. It's like we have 2 press conferences every day.
Seriously, it feels like we finally have a president again. You know what I mean? And let's be real here. The White House lawn never looked better. And you know that Milwaukee judge who helped an illegal immigrant escape? Well, a son of my friend is a deputy in the courthouse. He said everyone just hated this judge, especially after the stunt that she pulled. I mean, seriously, Rachel Maddow and the rest of these mainstream media mouthpieces, they need to be reminded that no one is above the law. Isn't that their favorite line? Well, this goes both ways, and now President Trump is making sure that it does. Since the Trump administration returned to power, daily border encounters have fallen 93% and migrant crossings are down by 99.99%. The president shared this data from the lectern. He pointed out how Biden said that it was impossible, that the president had no power to stop what was needed in the form of legislation. He needed legislation. He had no power to get it, but it turned out that all we needed was a new president. The president also highlighted one of the many executive orders that he signed in his first 100 days in office, the one that ended all of the lawless so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion BS, and the other one that made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female. I mean, really, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff of Policy, Stephen Miller, he pretty much summed it up for everybody. President Trump has achieved the most secure border in American history. He's fighting violent crime. He's fighting the drug cartels. He's cutting your taxes. He's cutting wasteful spending. He's draining the swamp. He's standing up to the radical left. He's standing up to the communists, and he's making America stronger than it ever has been. President Trump will never stop fighting for you, for your family, for your children. I mean, amen to that, right, guys? And this is just his first 100 days. There's definitely so much more to look forward to. He mentioned that the 25% tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel, how it's keeping our steel mills going. And with the China tariffs, he said that they're ending the greatest job theft in the history of the world. And finally, Trump rounded out his speech, giving his supporters the promise of more accomplishments and success, pointing to the work that Congress has yet to do. He promised that in the coming weeks and months, they will pass the largest tax cuts in American history, and that will include no taxes on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime. It's called the One Big Beautiful Bill. And you know Democrats are scared and desperate. That's why you're seeing headlines like this. Experts urge U.S. to prepare for potential pandemic as a new virus spreads in all 50 states. They're talking about the H5N1 bird flu virus and the risk of mutations that could enable human-to-human transmission. And yet, the CDC itself confirms that the risk to the general public remains low. So really, you know that this is just more noise from the mainstream media machine. Am I right, guys? Drop a quick yes in the comments down below. Hit the like button to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, guys. All right, so Democrats, they also brought out their heavy hitters, Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer. But the only thing that they did was prove even further that the Democrats are way out of touch. I mean, Kamala Harris actually talked about this viral elephant video and sounded absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if she was stoned, drunk, or what.
Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind. Everybody's asking me what you've been thinking about these days. Well, so in the video, for those who haven't seen it, here those elephants were. And as soon as they felt the earth shaking beneath their feet, they got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor. Because we know Those who try to incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer, when they separate the herd, when they try to make everyone think they are alone. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter.
Now, seriously, guys, there's just no way they would have let her talk or give speeches if she won. Commentators are saying that this is just her gearing up to run for California governor. Even one person said that they're really afraid that Kamala Harris is going to do it. Check this out.
Her first significant speech since she lost the presidency to Donald Trump significantly back in November. She's going to keep on this. It's kind of going after his first 100 days. As she said, continuing to be fear being contagious and courage also being contagious. That's the theme of her speech, is courage being contagious. Let's bring in conservative commentator Alicia Krause and independent journalist Brittany Hopper. I mean, it really is one of those things where this is going to do what the Democratic Party has done since Trump got elected, which is don't build your own agenda, just keep going after his agenda, and that's what you're going to see on this speech tonight.
I'm actually really afraid because I've speculated for a while that she's gearing up to run for governor of our great state of California and making it even worse than Gavin Newsom has. And the language that she's using, it's a very well-crafted speech that she's giving right now. Those two phrases that you gave could definitely be a campaign slogan. I hope that she does not do it, and I hope she does not use them. It's also kind of laughable that she's blaming the president for the economy right now when it is her and her then President Biden who, when he wasn't taking naps, actually are the ones that ruined the economy and helped spur the inflation that we have now. They're the ones in the party that said we must be deathly afraid of the coronavirus. And of course, and disinformation, and that was horrible, and Russiagate, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's kind of ironic that they're the ones that are now telling us, no, do not be afraid.
I mean, I don't blame her for being afraid of another Kamala Harris run. You know what I mean? Because, wow, like her speech was just one of the most tone deaf, out of touch performances that I've seen in a very long time. And this isn't just politics as usual. It was bizarre. She was speaking at some high dollar progressive fundraiser, and in the middle of attacking President Trump and basically painting this doom and gloom version of America, she actually told the crowd to Google a viral elephant video. Seriously, like, who would do that? I mean, just think about it. While the rest of us are focused on the economy, border security, and getting our country back on track, this crazy lady, she's talking about elephants. This is what she brings to the table. And it gets worse. She launched into this dramatic speech accusing Trump of pushing a narrow, self-serving vision of America and supposedly causing the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history. Come on. We all know who wrecked the economy. It wasn't Trump. It was the Biden-Harris administration that gave us skyrocketing inflation, open borders, total weakness on the world stage. What, am I wrong, guys? Now that Trump's back in office, we're finally starting to see some leadership again. He's just cutting through the mess, draining the swamp, standing strong on the world stage, and putting America first, just like he promised. But Harris, she's out here rambling, I don't know, drunk, incoherent, whatever, who knows, about high-velocity events and warning us of a coming constitutional crisis because the system is actually working again. She even went after Trump, believe it or not, for deporting an MS-13 gang member. She said, and I quote, "It is not okay to detain and to disappear American citizens or anyone without due process." Sorry, Kamala Harris, but most Americans want violent criminals off the streets. That's not some moral dilemma. It's called keeping people safe. And honestly, the whole thing, it just came across as desperate. I mean, she's been hiding from the spotlight ever since losing last November, and it shows. This speech was full of her usual word salad nonsense, weird tone shifts, and of course, the classic Harris cackle that we've all come to cringe at. Meanwhile, President Trump is actually getting things done. I mean, we're seeing results. We're seeing strength. And after watching that speech, I've never been more thankful that he won in November. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Then here comes Chuck Schumer saying that public sentiment is turning in their direction. I mean, seriously? Watch this.
On Capitol Hill from other members in your caucus.
Our caucus is united. Look at this. The Republicans on this upcoming reconciliation bill, which sets the funding for the whole government, they're fighting with each other. Republicans are fighting with each other within the House. Republicans are fighting with each other within the Senate. And in something that rarely happens, the Republican leadership in the House and Senate are fighting with each other. Compare that to the Democrats. We're totally united. We're totally united in my caucus. And in fact, on the last budget reconciliation bill, we had 27 amendments. Every single Democrat voted for every one of them. And the reason we are united, the reason they are divided, and the reason our caucus is feeling very good about our future, we know we have to work at it very hard day in, day out, is because we know we're on the side of the American people and they're not. And you know, the political process, you have to fight, you have to protest, you have to do everything you can.
Now, I hate to break it to you, Chuck, but the polls say otherwise.
While feelings toward the Democratic Party are at an historic low, 55% view the party negatively, and there's a divide among Democrats. On Friday, 9 Democrats, led by Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Independent Angus King, who caucuses with them, voted with Republicans to advance a short-term spending bill to keep the government open.
As bad as the CR is, I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. A shutdown would allow DOJ to shift into overdrive.
Now, before the vote, Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi released a statement defying Schumer, writing, quote, "Democrats must not buy into this false choice. The party divisions were on display."
Today was a bad day for the country, and I won't sugarcoat it. Today was also a bad day for the Democratic Party.
In this case, CR stands for complete resignation.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal.
It's an unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American spending bill.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Next question.
What leverage do we have? Democrats keep showing up at every night fight with a casserole.
I mean, how out of touch can you be? So while Chuck Schumer is out there claiming people are flocking to the Democrats, the actual numbers show that Americans are tuning them out in record numbers. A CNN poll, the network that he was on, literally found that 61% of Democratic voters disapprove of their own party's leadership. 61%, guys. This is not public sentiment turning in your direction, Chuck. This is your own base saying that they've had enough. Even Caitlin Collins, yes, CNN's Caitlin Collins pressed him on it and basically is asking why, if the Democrats are supposedly fighting for the people, why are their favorability ratings in the toilet? Chuck Schumer's answer? Oh, well, it just takes a little while for the people to see how bad Trump is. Sure. Well, that polls come and go. Really? That's your whole strategy? Wait around and hope for people to hate Trump enough to ignore the dumpster fire that is your party? Well, let's not forget Democrats right now are sitting at a 29% favorability rating. This is the lowest since 1992. Meanwhile, polls show that 7 in 10 Americans believe that Democrats are out of touch with the public. And honestly, who could blame them? They've prioritized wokeness over working families, open borders over national security, spending binges over economic sanity. And Chuck Schumer seems to think the vibe is shifting in their favor. This guy's either lying or he's just totally disconnected from reality. Compare that with what we're seeing from Republicans and President Trump. Now, we got a clear message here. Secure the border, lower costs, restore law and order, and put America first. The NRCC's latest polling even shows that Republicans are outperforming Democrats in key battleground districts, especially the 13 Democrat-held districts that Trump won in 2024. We're not just talking about a fluke here. No, that's momentum. And let's talk about Chuck Schumer's personal approval numbers just for a second. He dropped from 46% to 31% in just 100 days. That's not just polls come and go, like he said. That's a nosedive. That's the American people saying, we're not buying what you're selling. So to recap, Chuck Schumer's out here acting like the tide is turning, but the reality is the floor is falling out from under the Democrats. American people, they're not turning toward them. They're running away. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think about this. Is this a sign of further Democratic desperation, or are they just pretending that the polls don't exist? Drop a quick comment, guys. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out our recommended videos that are coming up at the end of this one. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.